Hello, on this week's Got Clutter Get Organized episode, I am so excited because we've got Stephanie Warlick, and she's going to talk about the 5 gotchas for small business owners. So, I'm going to tell you right now to make sure you get a pen and a paper, your tablet, and even share this conversation with a fellow business owner because she gives some nuggets. I was taking so many notes, and I hope you enjoy this week's conversation. Hello and welcome to Got Clutter to Get Organized, the conversation. I'm excited because we have an expert and she is, and I wrote all this down. She's an international best-selling author, speaker, consultant, and coach. And really she is here because we are about ready to enter into another quarter and how small businesses, we can be more successful. So Stephanie Orlick, I am so excited for you to be here today and I can't wait to get our conversation started.
Thank you for having me. I love your energy and I'm so happy to be here.
So, my first question to you, Stephanie, is I want you to share your journey because I know part of it you share that you were like almost a struggling student, but now you have that Midas touch. So, I want to know. I mean, look, I told you I got my pen ready. I can always learn something new.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I will give credit to saying the Midas touch to a dear friend and former COO of mine. And she gave me that compliment one day and I loved it because I didn't recognize that. And I didn't recognize that because my journey from a struggling student to a founder, CEO, and successful in the corporate space was very non-traditional. I don't have an MBA. I hated school. Even though I have published books, I hate writing because when I have to write on demand, I just get, oh, my brain locks up. I am a late diagnosis ADHD. So organization and preparing myself to be successful has been a critical need to do that. But the path to getting to a fractional COO has just been a wonderful climb. I think I shared with you that I get asked this question a lot. And how do you describe this roundabout journey that's non-traditional? And I decided in the shower preparing for this call that it's really been like hiking up a mountain. And I'm still climbing my way to the summit. I hope I never get there. And that's what actually makes it so exciting for me to be a founder and help other small businesses is that I'm always learning and growing and improving. And I get bored super quickly. So if I reach the top, that's a little scary because then it's just nowhere. Where do you go but down from there? So I don't know if that answers your question, but it's climbing, it's learning, it's improving all of the time so that I can better myself and better the companies that I support.
And I do understand because, just hearing you is making me think of so many people who, they decide they get to a place where they maybe have been doing something for 20 or 30 years and they're ready to stop, but then they move on to something else and they continue to be successful in that. It's not necessarily that they don't have a drive or anything for what they did do, but like you said, they're constantly learning and they're discovering new things. So thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing that. So what
Yeah.
are your this is one of the things you always talk about, your 5 biggest gotchas for small business. So now
Yes.
I'm getting my
Oh,
pen ready,
yeah.
Stephanie, so I'm ready.
Yeah. And the gotchas, it is incredible to me that I say these same gotchas over and over and over, and we're not fixing them. But here they are.
Okay.
I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget to lack of clear expectations for your team.
Mm,
It's the number one communication problem. When there's a mismatch of expectations and responsibilities, the company cannot grow. Number two, responsibilities. Very much tied with number one, the lack of clear roles and responsibilities. If there's a mismatch between those, the company cannot grow. Those are two of the things that I call the foundation when I talk to small business owners about growing. I'll say, you're selling this product and you're attempting to do this. And I'll call those the walls of the house, or maybe even the roof of the house, but you haven't even laid the cement foundation. You cannot have walls and a roof if you don't have these things. So, clarity about expectations and roles and responsibilities so that individual contributors can work autonomously is critical. That's number two. You want me to keep going? Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I wrote that down, but as you're writing it, I'm like, yes, 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 I understand.
Number three, the inability for founders to let go and let your key contributors do their thing. You know, they say you can tell me how to do something or what to do, but you can't tell me both. And that is absolutely just so critical to let go. So many founders and small business owners are the bottlenecks in their business because they just keep thinking they're going to do it themselves and they can do it better. Well, train somebody to do it. Get at least let somebody help you get to 80%. You're not a great manager until you help other people be great managers. Number four, not documenting those things that are leading to successful outcomes. If you don't document it so people can replicate those successful outcomes, they're just going to make mistakes over and over. Such a major problem in small business. And I get it. I've had several small businesses. There's no time. You're like, I can't even eat or pee, let alone document. I get it. But there are resources that help you do that. And then finally, lack of clear goals for a shared vision. I believe in the EOS methodology, entrepreneurial operating system, and it has a really great framework for quarterly goals, 1 year goals, 5 year goals, 10-year goals. And when everyone is marching toward the same set of goals and visions, that's magic. Because otherwise, you've got a bunch of soldiers walking in circles and nobody is walking the same direction.
Wow. See, we need to just take a pause for a minute. I mean, as you were saying these things, it was like, especially number three, because then I started thinking of
Mm-hmm.
my own experiences of
Yeah.
how working on one project, someone allowed me just to do what I can do. And
Yeah.
how I saw her, she was able to take on so many other large projects because she was a government contractor. So whenever she got a contract, she always brought me and she's like, Jan, I need you to do this. Because when you let go
Yeah.
as a leader, you know, one, your team just almost like, wow, they see value in me. So they, you know, tie into whatever the vision and the mission, et cetera, is. But you're empowering people and you're giving yourself more time and energy maybe to go after something bigger. So yeah,
Yeah.
you said a lot, Stephanie. So
Good choice of words.
because
It literally feels like your baby. And
yes,
I
it
don't
is.
know if somebody's never owned a business that they understand that that feels like. But if you've had the opportunity to drop that kid off at daycare for the first time or at that kindergarten classroom door, and you're like, oh my God, my baby's going to be in somebody's hands all day and I have to trust that they're not going to hurt them and they're going to take care of them, blah, 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 all of that. That's what it feels like to let go of critical components of your business. It's hard.
It is.
It's really hard.
It is very hard. It is very. So, what is like something that a small business should focus on as you know they transition from one quarter to the next? They look at the current quarter and like, okay, I
Yeah.
really want to do something different.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, gosh, there's so many things that we could do, and I thought about this carefully, but I would say right now, because of all the economic and political things that are going on right now, we can't control the things externally. All we can do is control the things internally to secure the foundation of our business. So I'm going to say for this next quarter, it's just setting that foundation to have your key people in place and go back to those five gotchas and make sure that they're set because we really don't know what's going to happen. I think there's a lot of folks that are saying that a recession is potentially coming again. I hope not. But between tariffs and
Mm-hmm.
again political
Mm-hmm.
environment,
Mm-hmm.
they're saying that the spending is slowing. The housing market's not recovering.
Mm-hmm.
There's just some signs that it's going to be there. So I'd say the best that we can do is control what we can control, and that's within our own business, making a sound foundation so that we can make best business decisions. That's really what I would have people focus on right now.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. So, Stephanie, with all that you do, how do you manage whether it's your day, your time, your life? Like, how do you still figure that? I mean, because as I shared in the beginning, international best-selling author, speaker, consultant, coach.
Yeah. Yeah. The good news is that several of them very nicely fit together.
Okay.
So my coaching and consulting
Hmm.
are fed by my speaking, and vice versa. The books, once I launched
Hmm.
them in
Hmm.
2024,
Hmm.
they were done. So I am writing the third book when I have time, not as quickly as I want. But how do I manage it? I honestly say that my calendar is half my brain. Because I'm ADHD, I can spiral out of control and get easily distracted. I'm very not good at managing my time in that I always think I can get one more thing done. So I'm constantly scrambling, running the next. But I use my Outlook or Google Calendar. I have a personal and a business, and my different clients have calendars. But I time block. I color code.
Oh, yes.
I love that I can move tasks from one day to the next, and then again I try and time block. So I have often taught individuals that I work with that need some organizational skills how to do that. What else? Time block, color code. I live by my calendar, and I pretty much calendar everything. My family sort of laughs at me, but I can pretty much tell you for the next 6 months what we have scheduled. And since my daughter's getting married next May, maybe more than 6 months. But I have to do that. And it's sort of as a version of my lists. I keep them in my calendar
Hmm.
so that I can prioritize it daily.
Mm,
I do it in the morning and I do it at night.
that's wonderful. And I love color coding too. So, that's so I'll know who's on first, what's on second. So,
Yeah. You want the biggest piece of color coding that I love, of course,
hmm.
prioritization is
Hmm.
it, but I leave tasks on my calendar that I have delegated to others or I'm waiting for a response so I don't forget about them. And I make note of when I sent this email to that person so that I could follow up at another date and that has a particular color because I don't want to lose sight of those things, for follow up. And I think that's a really important piece because of the way my brain works.
And I understand. I'm a very visual person, so I've got like notes
Absolutely.
and flip charts and stuff so I can keep
Yes.
focus. I just, and everybody needs to create a system that really helps them stay
Yes.
on track. So, Stephanie,
That's right.
how can people connect with you?
I have two websites that are my key
Okay.
websites. StephanieWarlick.com
Okay.
has all of my things, my consulting, my coaching, and my books, as well as an opportunity for my speaker profile. But my consulting company is really the heart of my business, and that's the number five, footview.com. And I serve as a fractional COO to help small businesses implement resolutions to those five gotchas.
And of course, those watching as well as listening, I will have both websites listed so you can connect with Stephanie. Specifically, if you're a small business owner and you're like, you know what, I need Stephanie to come in and help us. So, Stephanie, I just want to thank you so much for this conversation. It has been informative. And of course, as you know, I got my notes right here. So, thank you again.
Thank you, Janet. It was a pleasure to be with you.